Hey guys, I figured I'd make a video, show you what guns that I like to rock here in Gray Zone Warfare. Um, it's really a range of a couple different types of guns, some meta, some not so meta. But basically, just kind of as a way to customize the guns to how you want them to feel. For me, again, some of the guns that I have set up right now, they might not be perfect, but I just feel like they look cool, and that some of them, I kind of think they perform better than others. Maybe not necessarily exactly, but overall, I just like how they look. So today, that's what we're going to take a look at, dive into that, and see, what it is that they offer. Starting off, I have here the AK-74N. You can build this straight up once you are level 3 with Turncoat and Artisan, and also one of the pieces from Gunny, or you can, again, like I said, throw stuff together from what you find in the field. Me personally, I've just kind of thrown this together, bought pieces, and then finally Frankensteined it together, but it's got some pretty good stats. MOA, still high, that's kind of a given for the AK variants, but the recoil control, pretty nice, and then what you get for the stamina drain, the reload time, and the weapon handling is all pretty darn solid. I like the AK-74 mainly because the rounds that you can buy for it, most of them, there's multiple types of rounds that'll penetrate level 3A plus armor, which is, the best armor in the game. And then 2, I just feel like it hits harder on some of the enemies versus the 5.56. This is the main gun that I run. I'll kind of lightly air on that. Sometimes whenever I'm going to like Tiger Bay or something, I'll rock out with like a kitted out MK18. But this is my everyday use weapon right here. Again, I just like this variant. I guess diving into things, the actual build that I have on it, I'll kind of explain where each piece comes from too. This RK3 pistol grip is a necessity for this build. It's got all the highest stats, plus it's got some stamina drain on it, and you can actually buy this from level 2 Artisan. She sells it on one of her AKs. This guy right here, this AKMN, you can buy this just strictly to rip that grip off it and resell the AK parts. But that's where I got the grip from. I do like to have the iron sights on there. That's strictly so if I'm in somewhere close quarters, I can just rip the scope off, and then that way I can use the iron sights that are still on there. That's made possible through this dust cover. This PDC dust cover allows you to mount scopes on it, and then also, like I said, use those irons. Like if I just show you right here, I rip these Johns off, swap to my AK, and then boom, I've got my irons. So it's pretty good utility wise. And then also, you have your optic on there. The Razor 1x6 can allow you to basically use this like a sniper. That's another piece too. Suppressor. It's just this PBS suppressor. You can find it on the AKs when enemies drop them, or most of the time just in boxes on the ground in the tier 2 areas. It's pretty easy to pick up. Also with this comes with getting to level 3 gunny, or just getting lucky by getting an MK18 with the stock or M4 with the stock. But basically what I did is I threw on here, if I take a look at the buffer tubes, there is an adapter that you can get to throw on this, and the adapter allows you to put M4 buffer tubes on here, and basically, like I said, gets you probably some of the best stats in the game. You can buy this at level 3 gunny, or you can wait to basically just find it in the open world, but M4 stock here gives you some good stats because they outperform the AK stocks by a decent mile. I guess one of the final pieces to this is the handguard. This AK B10M handguard has probably some of the better stats for its weight, I should say, and it goes great on the AK-74. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can buy this at Turncoat level 2. If I don't see it in here, it can actually be found pretty easy out in the field. I think that's what I did. Most of the time, I'm just picking these guns up, not necessarily high enough level yet to be able to just go purchase all of these in the shops. But definitely, if you do find it, keep an eye out and just throw it in your inventory. Wait for later if you do end up wanting to build out your own AK build. But definitely, overall, with all these attachments, don't want to forget the foregrip either. This foregrip kind of makes everything. I like this AFG 2 foregrip specifically for this. Again, not high enough level yet, but I've found enough MK18s and then stuff in the open that, I just picked this up and turned it on there. I just like it just because it has that stamina drain for the arm, and all that means is basically when you're ADS, it'll just take longer for your ADS stamina to run down. So it's perfect. Again, if you're scoped in for long periods of time in long distance combat, it might just help so you can stay in the sights a little longer without being fatigued. Looks like I have a login error. Failed, so I'm gonna get kicked out of the game. Oh, I don't know what the hell that was, but anyways, here's just me, at the range in the camp, just kind of giving you an idea of what it shoots like. I'll just leave it all the way backed out, but again, the MOA isn't amazing, but generally at 25, 30 yards, you're going to land most of your shots darn near on target. So there's my 3.2 MOA with this gun. Again, I like it. I like the way it sounds, I like the clunkiness, and then whenever it does hit, it just feels like it hits hard. And that is the AK, that is, your AK-74N right there. Just beautiful looking gun overall. Fan of the AK variants in this game. And yep, next up we're just going to be taking a look at this M4 that I have. It's kind of a hodgepodge mix of good parts, bad parts. It's M4, so it's going to have 5.56 ammo that just shreds through enemies. But overall, the reason I have everything built the way I do is this specific M4. I'm comfortable with using it close quarters without having to worry about the scope on it. It's not going to be the best long range, but up close, it does tear through enemies. But same sort of deal. If you're looking at the stocks, MOE stock is definitely the way to go with this gun. On top of that, I do have a shorter barrel. I have the 16-inch barrel on it. Again, mainly just for weight. I know 20 inch is pretty run of the mill right now, but the 16, excuse me, is I just like it for the length of it. I could go shorter with it. Right now, I think the 16 gets it done fine for the handguard. I know there's better options out there. I'm kind of a fan of this M-lock look. On top of that, the M-lock rails or the M-lock handguards are they actually weigh less than the Picatinis. So for me, I think one, it looks cool. Two, it's a little bit lighter, so it can be more snappy again for that close quarters combat. And then two, handguard wise, I do have the AFG2 handguard on here. Could go with the DDFG, but right now I just like that stamina drain just because I find myself ADS for a longer period of time, so I just don't want my stamina to run down. But overall, like the look, weight's good, and kind of gets the job done. Finally on here, I haven't yet gone through and fully changed this around, but I'm running the Hollow Sun mounts with the T2 aimpoint sight. I just like this little short optic, the short red dot, just because it's got an actual dot. You can't actually cycle through the dots right now. Whereas the Hollow Sun is more of a circle with a dot in the middle of it. But I just like this clean dot, gives you a good sight picture. And finally, suppressor, slides, charging handles, all that good stuff. This thing can tear through enemies. And like I said, super snappy. Love the way the the T2 dot looks, but basically same sort of distance. Can get good groups. I'm just shooting headshots here, but MOA much shorter, much smaller than the AKs. I think this is 1.86. I'm not going to be scoped in trying to snipe people with it. This is more close quarters, but generally for what it does, gets the job done. Just love the way it looks too. Overall, it's a fancy looking gun. Just take a look at that, John, real quick. Beautiful in block. Love it. Absolutely love it. My next is probably what I would run if I was going to be going Tiger Bay, Tier 3 area, want to drop enemies before they see me. And that is this MK18. I'm pretty sure I've just bought this from level 3 Gunny. Might have shifted a few parts around on here, but overall, like the way it looks. Love the way it feels. Pretty smooth. But basically, same sort of deal. MOE stock is the best there is. This one, I am running the 20-inch barrel. It can give me more long-range benefits. Handguard, DD, RIS, 212 FSP, with AFG handguard on there. I could take the sights off, don't know why I have them, just have them for the looks, I guess. And then finally, breaking it down, charging handle, same deal. Supreme, the best one in the game. But overall, stat line, it looks decent. It's probably not the highest it can be, but for me, gets the job done. Whole reason I'm using this is mainly because I'm going to be at range with enemies. I just want to put shots on target in a reasonable area in quick succession. But overall, gun handles probably the best there is. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with this 5.56 ammo at range. It's going to pierce through most stuff. But not my favorite to run. Mainly just if I'm going to go do a tier 3 area and I'm really not trying to screw around and accidentally miss shots of my AK. But yeah, that's that is my MK18. We'll take a look at this thing too real quick just to kind of get an idea. All these two, if I'm running distance, I prefer the Razor sight over the Voodoo just because of the crosshair. But yeah, that is my MK18. And then, you know, if I'm feeling a little chillaxed and I want to run, you know, just into maybe one of the beginning areas, help somebody out, not too worried about enemies pushing me, I will run this specific M700. I can't necessarily, I didn't build this because I don't have the last guy Banshee up to the point where I can buy all this stuff at yet, but I was lucky enough to have somebody drop it for me early on, and I've just kind of held on to it. And that's this M700. You can kind of look at the attachments that I have. If you wanted to copy it, go right ahead. MOE stock seems to be the meta right now for stat lines. DD grip gets you, again, some of the best stat lines. Throw that on there. And then alongside that, I have a Viper 5x26. Get you some good distance on that. And then lastly, got a long barrel 22-inch and have it suppressed. Overall, this thing is amazing because it just isn't going to miss. You'll drop your shots from distance on target, no problem. With a decent enough group, I think it's half-inch, 6.66, but you will get all your shots exactly where you want them, whenever you want them. So, beautiful gun, love it. Wouldn't necessarily run it into any high tier area. This is more or less like if I'm just looking to chill out for a second. I don't mind what I'm doing. I'll pop this sucker on and go kill some of these goons out in the areas. But yeah, that is my long distance. But yeah, it's pretty much, I have some other guns in here. These aren't necessarily ones that I run, like I just got back up M700. But yeah, between these guys right here, this M700, this M4A1, this Mark 18, and then my trusty AK-74M are some of the main guns that I run on a day-to-day basis. Love the way they feel, and love the way they look. But I hope you guys found this a little bit interesting, and maybe use some of the stuff you see in here to build out your own kits. Anyway, guys, take it easy.